Do you have a door that, well, looks like this? Maybe the kids got a little too carried away one night? Well, we know we do. So today we're going to be showing you how to go and fix this without having to go and buy a brand new door. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more videos just like this. Thanks a lot. Let's get started. Alright, the first thing we want to do when trying to repair one of these doors is make sure we take all the hardware off. Don't try to fix it with the hardware on because, well, it just ain't gonna work. Little side note on this, don't forget to remove your hinges as well. Now if you have a little lip like we do here on ours, you can just pretty much just very carefully pull up on it and it'll start coming up on its own. If you don't, and you just have a tiny little lip you can't get your fingers under, just use a chisel, which we may wind up using anyway. We'll see how this goes. And then bad things like that happen. Okay, so we're going to take a little piece of cut off and put some wood glue on it. And then a little bit of CA glue so that way we don't have to tack nail it. Let's put that on the edges where the wood glue isn't. Mostly towards the top and bottom. And the back side. We're just going to go ahead and put some more wood glue on the other side. And then we'll use some spray adhesive after we get the CA glue in here. And then just hold it all together. Normally this will come together in about 5-10 seconds. And then you can just let go of it. And after this part here, we'll just lift up the lip a little bit and just spread our glue in here as evenly as possible. It's good to get a little bit of extra glue in there so that way you get some squeeze out. And then we're just going to clamp the death out of this thing. Like I said, squeeze out is a good thing because that means you got enough glue in the joint. I'm just going to glue that little tear up too while we're at it. Then we'll come back and sand that here later on. And a little CA glue just to give it a little extra hold. I'm just going to clamp all that down. Clamp the sides. And then let it sit for the next day or so. Okay, so we've let this sit actually for a couple of days. Just finally got back to it. And now we're going to go ahead and remove the clamps and see what we got. Got a really good seal all the way through here. And here we have a little bit of bowing that happened. Because, well, cheap wood, so it is what it is. Then we get up to here, it looks like we have a little bit of a gap here, so we'll have to fix that up. That shouldn't be a big deal at all. Alright, on this part here we went ahead and filled in that crack, and this really just came down to a little bit of sanding, a little bit of paint, and a rag, and that was it. Just used these nice smooth rags down here to go and get that all done, and then just went through and just kept going over it and smoothed it out till it was smooth. And you can still see some detail errors in here if you're looking really close, but for the most part this all looks fine. When you're looking at this from the bottom of the door, you're not going to notice that. So that's one of the neat little tricks you can do in there. Just don't sand down to the point that you get all the lines gone like we did here. That's kind of bad, especially if it's in a noticeable area. Bottom of the door, no one's probably going to notice that, but you know, if it's up by a door handle or something, that could really throw off the look. So just be careful about that. But the paint kind of puts in its own version of lines, especially when you're using rags. So it looks a little different than what a paintbrush would do, but yeah, overall it came out really nice. We got this part over here glued down and corrected some of the wood damage there. Cleaned that up, so that'll dry overnight, and then we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Right here, this is all nice and glued together, good and solid. So I've repaired the internal structure. And along here, you can see, basically with the exception of this little lip here, which can be easily painted over, there's no real gaps, so this one's pretty much good to go. Now another thing we're going to do here, just to make sure that all the holes are nice and sturdy when we go to put the door back up here in just a little bit, is we're going to go ahead and throw some glue on a toothpick. So basically what this does is this fills in any issues with the door screws not being able to kind of go in and do what they need to do once everything's put back together. So just break that off in there. There we go. And since this one's a little wide, do this a few times. Just make sure that that hole is nice and covered with the toothpick. Now we don't have to worry about the screws stripping out when they go in. They'll be in a nice hard wood, which is actually better than what the door came with. Just going to go around and do the rest of the holes on here, and it'll be ready to be put back in. I hope you guys enjoyed our little door repair video. As you can see, went right back in like a champ. No issues. Door obviously closes just fine. So that's how you do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.